Hello everybody, how are you doing? I'm out in the shop. I got a couple of shop helpers out here tonight, and they're just basically keeping me company and making sure I'm following all the proper shop safety rules. Well guys, I did it again. I lucked out and got a killer deal, and I'm gonna open the trunk here and show you what happened today. Check it out. That is a 24-inch flat top drum sander. The neat thing about this is the drum is below the surface, and when it starts spinning, the centrifugal force, the sandpaper is held on by Velcro. The sandpaper will lift, so there's an air gap between the sandpaper and the wheel, so the sandpaper stays cool, which means it doesn't melt paint, it doesn't melt resin, it doesn't melt varnish, so that stuff doesn't load up your sandpaper. Your sandpaper lasts longer, because if it's cool, it's obviously not going to release the grit either. It's got feather wheels that go with it, two sets of feather wheels. These basically go on the table and they slide in, so you could put like a cabinet door on there and slide them up to the cabinet door. Then you push the wheels down, and they're spongy, and they get pushed down on top of the cabinet door, and it holds it in place and applies even pressure all the way across the full length of the wheel. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see, I got these are router. This is a router dovetail system, and there's that right there. This is part of it. These are supposed to be some fancy dovetail joint jigs. I've got, this is to make chairs, which I don't know that I'll be making any chairs, but he gave it to me. It's really nice. Got a 6-piece router bits, got some DVDs, all kinds of sandpaper over there. I just need to get this stuff out so I can really take a look at it and see what all is in here. While I'm working on getting that out of there, before I start pulling it all out of the trunk, I want to talk to you guys. I am very sorry that it's taking me so long to get this blank sale going, but I've been busy every single night, and I'm going to go ahead and announce this. Mike DeLalter, Rebecca DeGroot, and I are starting a podcast. The podcast will be called You Made That. So, you get asked that question, you made that? People ask you that all the time. And I don't know if you've seen anything that Rebecca does, but she does some insane things. I mean, she's amazing. Mike is a fantastic caster and a wonderful turner, so I couldn't have a better crew. We had a video conference the other night, and the dynamic between the three of us is fantastic, so I think it's going to be a lot of fun to do the podcast. We have been spending time. Mike worked really hard and got the domain names for us. So the domain name is youmadethatpodcast.com and ymtpodcast.com. He got our email addresses set up. The social media is set up. I think Rebecca kicked in and did some work on that. I think she took care of the Instagram maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Those two were going back and forth, and it was happening so fast. But the Facebook and Instagram. So on Facebook and Instagram, you can go out and search. Instagram is at You Made That Podcast, one word, and Facebook is you space made space that exclamation point space podcast. What I'll do is I'll put it in the video so you guys can see it. You can go ahead and subscribe. We haven't posted anything yet, but we'll be using those. When we're doing the podcast. Obviously, podcast is audio, so somebody talks about, I made this blah blah, right? Well, they can take a photo of it and drop it out to the Instagram. So definitely check those out. Go ahead and get signed up so you're ready. We are going to meet Sunday night, and we're going to do a trial run on the podcast. And basically what that's for is Mike it's technical stuff, right? Mike needs to check out all of our microphones and make sure everything syncs up. Just make sure it's all working. And as soon as we get everything dialed in, we'll record our first podcast. And if we're lucky, we may go ahead and do that Monday night if everything works well. I don't know yet. There's nothing really said about that. But keep your eyes open for that. And that is why it is taking me so long to get those blanks out there. And those of you, I've been getting some very nice emails, very nice messages, people saying, hey, I would really like to purchase a blank. Please, guys, I am so sorry. I mean, this has just been crazy, crazy, crazy. But let me promise you this. I'm going to get those blanks out there maybe Wednesday night. I have to see what else is going on, but I think maybe tomorrow night I'll do the blank sale, provided everything is kind of calmed down a little bit. If you wanted a blank and you are unable to acquire one during the sale, do not worry. I am going to make another batch. There have been so many people requesting them. I will make another batch. And the cool thing is I've got this sander now, which I think is going to enable me to make them a little quicker, because with the table saw, I've got to clamp the blanks down, with this clamp and run them through the blade to joint them. But with the sander, it's a flat top sander. You run it across the flat top. I should be able to draw a pencil mark on there, and when the pencil mark is gone, I've got a perfectly flat blank, so I should be able to joint them that way, which is going to be so much quicker because I can just run them across two at a time, right? And versus the blade where you've got to be careful not to cut a finger off. On the sander, the worst I can do is chew some skin off. But, hopefully I don't do that, right? But I should be able to make them a little bit quicker next time, which will help. And I bought more clamps, so I'm going to be able to do glue ups, larger glue ups at one time. So if you don't get one, please don't worry. I will make more. Things just have been busy because we're getting ready. Once we're climbing that hill for the podcast, once we get over the hill and start recording, then it's, one night a week. It'll probably be a bi-monthly or bi-weekly, so every other month. But once we get over that hill and record that first one, then it's one night you get together, you record, maybe you have a little pre-show stuff that you do, and it shouldn't be taking as much of my time. But I really think it's going to be worth it. I'm so excited about it. Michael, Rebecca, they are so excited about it. We're just dying to get the first show out there. So that is why, and I haven't wanted to say anything because nothing was really definite until yesterday. Yesterday was the big day where it all fell into place. We decided, yes, we're going to do it. We got the name. We started putting it all together. So, and it's been every night. I mean, it's literally been every night. So I think it's going to be worth it. I am going to work my hardest to get the blank sale going Wednesday night, tomorrow night, okay? For all of you who have been interested. And like I said, I'll make sure I make more blanks so that everybody gets a shot at them. And if we sell them all next time and nobody gets them all, or everybody doesn't get one, I'll make another batch. I'm happy to do it. I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. And, this is awesome. This is all coming together. So I am so excited. There's so many great things happening, and I think it's going to be a fun ride coming up here real soon. So I'm going to get this unloaded, and I'll be back in a minute to touch base with you and kind of show you some more stuff. Plus, I got to work to get that sander adjusted. You got to get the drum adjusted up and down so it's proper. So yeah, we got some fun stuff to do tonight. Here's a closer look. This is a 24-inch Flatmaster drum sander. It's got the, here's another look. This is a 24-inch Flatmaster drum sander. Now it has the guides and it has the feather wheels. And these, you basically, if you're going to do a small board, you can hold reasonable pressure as you take it across the wheel. If you're going to do a wider board like a cabinet door, it's hard to hold even pressure. So basically you set it on here, you bring these two guides in close to it, you drop these wheels and they're flexible. You put a little downward pressure on them and tighten them down with this hand knob, and it puts even pressure side to side so that you can press them through and guarantee that you're going to get a nice flat surface. This thing has a 2-inch dust collection port on the back, which I'm going to have to get something that fits in there. Everything is optional on these. When you buy these, you get the table. You have to buy the motor separate. You have to buy the feather wheels and the guide separate. So he bought all of this and he never used it. He literally put it together the other day so that he could show it and sell it. So I can't complain. The first sanding was done on it while we were in his shop, and he was showing me how it worked. So what I'm going to do, though, is I watched a video online how to set it up. I'm going to go ahead and I probably won't use the guides very often. Most of what I do will be smaller stuff, blanks and smaller boards. So I'm going to store those away in a nice safe place. But I'm going to go ahead and adjust the drum, make sure it's right. We're going to adjust the belt and the pulleys, make sure they're in line. All of the little things that I saw online, because since he did just put it together, he hasn't really used it, so he hasn't seen whether or not it's, properly set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that tonight. But before I do, I got some more stuff I need to bring into the shop. Also purchased and never used that I picked up today is the Dovetail Whiz 15-inch extendable jig. It looks like there's 2 of them in there. I do believe there is. Here's all the guides that you can set up for it. Here are some of the patterns for it. You've got bears. You've got these little, that's the other side of the bears there. Over here, there's all these different jigs. There's hearts and all different shapes. Here's some of your standard dovetail jigs. It's got all the spacers, the DVDs. This stuff has never been out of the boxes, okay? So I picked all that up today. I've got, this was in the trunk. I needed to bring this out, but this is the Klingspor 60 grit, 100 grit, and 180 grit paper for the sander. So I'm excited about that. I've never used a dovetail jig in my life, but I've got 3 spare routers. So guess what we're going to figure out how to do. It might be kind of fun to make some blanks with little bear ears. I don't even know what that middle one is, but there's just I'll have to take them apart to figure it out, but he's never used them. So, and this right here is something to do with that. He didn't remember what it was either, but it's something to do with that dovetail jig. So we'll get through, we'll watch the DVDs, read some of the info on them, and see if we can figure it out. Here's a few more items here. This is kind of neat. It's like a Lazy Susan, but you can see it's got the little ball so that it doesn't wobble. And he used that to do stained glass. That way, when you set it up, you didn't have to move the stained glass. You could rotate, to do your soldering on it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to use that for, but I couldn't turn it down. Then I got some stuff over here like these. These are plans for, let me open these up, building chairs, dining room chairs. Okay, and what this is, these are the templates, and here they are in wood. Okay, and then this DVD tells you, or VHS, which I do have a VHS player, I'm embarrassed to say, tells you how to make them. Now, I will never make chairs. I don't want to do it. I have no interest in it. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with these yet. We'll figure out something else. Here's another. This is a DVD on dining chairs. This, I believe, went with these jigs and then this pattern. Here are the router bits, brand spanking new, never out of the box. The seal isn't even broken. You can see along there. Look at, well, that's amazing. Yeah, it's just bent, but it's not broken. This is some butcher paper, I guess, or whatever you call it. I can't think of the name of it. This is a jig for the router. Shucks, I forgot what these are used for. Darn it. My mind just went blank. I got some cool blocks he gave me. Little grinding wheels. This is awesome. This is a texturing tool for the lathe. Never used one of these before. There you go. There's a better look at it. Excited about that. This is a drill bit for one of the particular pin sizes. That was just in the box. That's probably going to go in the trash. That's dangerous. There's a Forstner bit that he gave me, and some of these little pegs, wood pegs that you plug holes in wood. So that was my haul for today. So it was a great day, and I'm super excited that the opportunity came up to get this and that I was in a position to do so. All right, now it's time to get some of this stuff out of the way so I can start playing with that sander, because I really want to get that thing set up. I'm so excited because it opens up all kinds of new possibilities. In the video, what they were using it for is they made segmented rings, which I've got that Incra jig for my table saw, which can cut perfect angles. And I did it when I made the octagon frame for inside of my dust collector bucket, so I can make perfect, segments, right? Well, then you use that to sand them flat. That's one of the things it's great for. So if I decide to get in to do some segmented stuff, I have the opportunity now. I don't know that I'll get into much segmenting because I have a small lathe. It'd be hard to turn anything of decent size. But if I do eventually come across a lathe, which they pop up every now and then, and if I could find a nice decent sized jet or a Nova or something like that, I might invest in it, and then I may be able to do some larger stuff. But I just want that set up because I'm thinking just squaring off blanks, just sanding down one side of them to be able to do glue ups is going to be so quick and easy. So, but anyway, I'm going to let you go for a minute. I'm going to get over here and see if I can't get this thing dialed in and working sweet. I followed the instructions on the website, and I've got the drum just below table level, just a hair, which is what they recommend. And I had a little trouble. Every time I turned it on, there was a loud noise. And what I found out is this belt, this is one of those link belts, and the motor was mounted kind of low, and the link belt was hitting on the bottom of the opening. So I had to take the top off, flip it over, take the top off, and raise the motor up. And now when you first start it, it pops one time. Listen. You heard that screech noise? That's where it hits because the belt starts wobbling. But as soon as it starts spinning, the belt tightens up. So as soon as you turn it on, you get that pop. And I was hearing that the whole time, which now I'm not. But I have 100 grit sandpaper on here, so I don't know how well it'll do. I probably would use a little coarser grit. But let's go ahead and you can hear it. Starting to sand away. I'm not taking much because it is 100 grit. Slowly taking it away, slowly squaring up this block of wood. Now the neat thing about it is you can never cut a divot in your wood because the squareness is handled by the table. And as the drum spins, the sandpaper pulls away from the drum, and that's what sands on the block of wood. There's that belt rattling again. I'm going to have to probably take a wrench. Listen to that. When I'm at the other end, you don't hear it as much when you're down here. Whoops. You don't hear it as much down here. Look at that. It's almost done. I think there's 1 or 2 more passes. That looks pretty darn amazing. I think what I'm going to have to do is I think I'm going to have to pull one more loop out of this belt because there's quite a bit of play in it. You know, you can squeeze it pretty far. So I think I'll take one more loop out of it, and that should stop the knocking. Now we just got to find a place to keep it in the shop. And I want to put it somewhere where it's available all the time, because what I'm thinking is, you know, if I come to make a blank and I want to glue 2 pieces together, instead of getting out the saw and using the blade, why not just run it across the sander? You know, put some say 100 grit sandpaper on there, you know, and just run it across there a couple of times, which should clean it up and make it square. So man, I'm super excited about having this in the shop. Okay guys, that's it for me. What I'm going to do is I'm calling it quits a little early. I'm going to go in, I'll get this video out to you guys, and then I am going to put the finishing touches. I re-recorded the video for this blank sale the other night, and I put it together, but it just needs a few finishing touches because my goal is, I'm hoping like heck to get that out for you guys tomorrow. Okay, so keep your fingers crossed. If nothing comes up, I haven't spoken with my wife if we have anything tomorrow or not, but if nothing comes up tomorrow evening, let's I probably will eat dinner. I don't want to do it before dinner, so let's say, what time is it now? Let me look and see what time it is. It's 7 o'clock now, so why don't we say, I don't know, sometime around 7 p.m. We'll run the sale from say 7 to 9, because I got, you know, that way it gives me time to do everything. I'll have dinner and I have everything ready to go. We'll run the sale for 2 hours. I don't think it'll take more than that. 7 to 9 p.m. Central Time, and I'll knock it off at 9. That gives me time to get everything boxed up, ready to go to the post office for the next day, and still get to bed by a decent time. So, with that being said, thank you so much for hanging out with me. And thank you, just thank you guys for all of your support. I truly appreciate it. And we will talk to you again very soon. No video tomorrow because I should be doing a blank sale. So, I've committed, guys. We have committed. So, all right, have a great evening. Bye-bye.